So we see the crews blades squared and ready, waiting on the start. It's the Saturday afternoon of Henley. The pleasure boats are out enjoying the conditions. There's a few little waves, a bit of movement in the water. It's nothing huge. And the crews get away pretty cleanly, pressing away from the start. You have a look here in this Chinese boat, just coming up to length really quite quickly. Getting really nice and solidly locked on. Good start from both crews.
Quick look there, the American crew over on the Berkshire station. They're really taking it out to these Chinese girls, and they're going to know, Greg, that they're racing against one of the fastest crews in the world. The tactic there, I'm sure, is to stick with them and see how long they can hold on to this crew, and if not, pressurise them to get their bow ball ahead.
Well, I think that's the way to race it. It's a head-to-head race. This Chinese crew, fantastic at Poznan just a couple of weeks ago at the second World Cup race, where they won by 4 seconds. But this could be different. And these younger scullers from America on the far side want to try and make sure this is a side-by-side race and see what sort of impact they can do. Can they put this fantastic Chinese crew off their stride in any way?
Matched equally on body weight. Both crews average 77 kilos, so they're strong girls. Probably the weight you'd see these international standard crews at. The Chinese crew just eked out about a length there by the end of the island.
They have just got that little bit of clear water. They're trying to break away if they can. This crew here from the United States, around Saratoga Rowing Association, that set up that program, want to try and keep in contact if they possibly can. You can see the flags just moving a little bit as they've got some of that earlier tail breeze. I think it'll stay with them throughout the length of the course. But there's a solidness in the blade work and the connection of this Chinese crew.
Good shot there, their blades, the Chinese cohesiveness of that dropping in together, popping out together. But this crew are no slouches, fastest in the world at the moment. They won the last World Cup. Ling Zhang, he's sitting there in the 2 seat, was 6th in the quad at Rio. So she's got some pedigree in this boat class. They know how to row this crew.
Yeah, she at those Rio Olympic Games where she finished in 6th place. We have a look here at the blade work of the American quad.
They're muscling it a bit more, Greg.
They do look like they're muscling just a bit more. There's a bit more of a kind of pull in the back of the stroke, isn't there? They leave their arms straight for a long time, and then they just really try and give it a bit more. But do you think they're just, when you say muscling?
Yeah, I think muscling can work, certainly. Most crews have beaten me muscling it, but you compare the two at the moment, the Chinese look like they've got a little bit more rhythm. They're slinking along a little bit better there. You see a great shot there, they left you a screen, and that's probably why they're length up right now.
Yeah, so I guess what you can see is what, just a bit more, to me it looks a bit more almost sort of compact, that the blades go in, there's no movement away from us before the blades are completely locked, and then the legs almost look like they go down quite slowly but incredibly strongly through that middle of the drive. Very
little movement. You want the legs to do most of the work in the rowing stroke. There's a kind of common misconception that we pull that over, we don't. We're pushing with the legs, we're pushing ourselves past that point we've dropped the spoon in. And this Chinese crew will be coached by Paul Thompson. The programme is overseen by Sir Stephen Redgrave, so they've got quite a few faces in there that have been involved with British rowing.
And Liu Yang in the 3 seat there. She was also in Rio. She was 11th in the double scull. She's backing up that rhythm in the 3 seats. Her blade work looks slightly just different on the angles. I'm being really picky in terms of looking at what we're seeing there, because they move really nicely together.
Well, they've had to work for it here. This American crew have not let them go away, and I'd imagine they'd want to just get up at this kind of stage of the race and sit there, but they're really clinging on, these girls. They're not giving up. This crew based up at Northeastern, they're pushing quite hard, and that's not a good position. You want to be kind of a few lengths certainly clear here at Henley. We've seen that this morning in a lot of races. Crews, they get a sniff of that crew in front of them and they will chase them down.
We had some great comebacks this morning in the session building up towards lunch, and who knows what we're going to see this afternoon. But the crews coming into the 3rd quarter of the race, coming past that Forley and the 3/4 mile, and it looks like a good lead for the crew from China. So you see those 3/4 mile markers being adjusted to show the relative positions of the two crews.
Just over 2 lengths there, coming down into the last third of the race. Great shot from overhead.
Yeah, what a lovely shot you can see there. The two crews, the enclosures on the right, that exciting looking fairground ride with those people spinning around up high on the right. But we're going to move down and see the action and see the togetherness of this Chinese quad and how nicely they're moving. Very little let up in terms of saving anything for any racing further in the regatta. They want to get this one ddone by a good margin.
We're not going to call the race yet, but whoever wins this race now, they're going to face a very strong Dutch crew in the final, who we saw a cracking race this morning between the British quad and the Dutch quad. Came down to about a foot in the end, I think.
Yeah, the crew from the Netherlands got up, but the British quad hung in with them, actually came through at one point, I think got ahead with about 200 metres to go, but the Dutch responded and managed to take the win. And they could see themselves racing this Chinese quad, if there's no change in this race, in the final tomorrow for the Princess Grace Challenge Cup.
These girls haven't let up, though. You can tell their stroke rate's not gone too low, down at 32. We'd probably expect them to be maybe 35, 36 when you're flat out racing side by side. So they're taking their foot off the gas a little bit, but they're certainly not absolutely tapping it on the head.
You're absolutely right. Yeah, they're still having to keep it working really well together, keep the pace up. You don't want to drop the rate too much and make things difficult. You don't want to get caught out by someone with a big sprint finish, and I think that's what the crew from the Saratoga Rowing Association development program are going to look to do here in these closing stages coming down to the line. Keep building it up, see if anything goes wrong in that Chinese boat. The Chinese boat looks like they've come slightly off the station, may have to correct and just come back if the umpire thinks that's a bit too far, but I don't think it's going to affect the result.
It's quite easy to get sucked into those crowds and start rowing across the course at this point in the race. You've got to keep in your boat, keep the steers person on their job and get the job done at this point.
Well, getting the job done they are. The crew from the United States up at 35 strokes a minute. There's plenty of good experience in that boat as well. Winners at the head of the Charles. We've got in the 3-seat Mo McAuliffe. She was twice a member of the national team for the United States in 17 and 18 in the women's quad. So lots of experience, but so much quality in this Chinese quad as we see them coming right down towards the line. And they've had a bit of a winning habit so far this year, winning in Poznan 2 weeks ago by 4 seconds, and a fairly commanding performance there, crossing the line ahead of the crew from the Advanced Rowing Initiative in the United States. And we'll see confirmation of that win in the Princess Grace Challenge Cup.